Hey everybody, Marcus C. Williams here. And just yesterday, the city of Rochester passed a bill that's called Good Cause Eviction. And man, does that sound good, right? It sounds really awesome, like it's going to help a lot of people, but really, it's not going to help a lot of people. It's only going to hurt people more long term because it's one of those bills which don't actually address the issues of the community and it just kicks the can down the lane, you know. And this is what we see far too much from our government, listening to small yet vocal groups that are funded by these shady nonprofits with funders that come from who exactly knows where with very questionable reasons on what they're pushing. It also somehow seems to be stuff that's being pushed all across the state at the same time, not specifically area specific. So that's something you got to keep in your mind also. Now, with good cause eviction, you'll say, well, Marcus, it sounds good. Why isn't it good? Let's dive into that real quick. There are two major issues that are not being addressed with this, which they're supposedly the solution for. And that's the rising costs of rentals. That's the continued issue with unaffordability of housing to home ownership. Now, if we're not addressing home ownership and we're not addressing the continued rising cost of rentals, then we're not doing what needs to be done. And this does not do this. This essentially makes it so you can't kick out bad tenants or people that are nuisances and stuff like that. Now, while this might be good in some aspects, those aren't the majority of the people who are having the biggest issues, and it's still going to create an atmosphere where it impacts smaller landlords more, and it'll encourage them to sell out to even bigger companies and bigger national groups and stuff like that, which will thereby start to increase other serious issues when you see them giving up all their properties to institutional investors. I've experienced that myself with places that I've rented before, where you have a small landlord where they can't manage whatever the new nonsense that comes down from the state, so they have to sell it off to some person that's not even in the state or some shady corporation or whatever the case is, and now they're a slumlord or they don't address the issues that you're actually having and stuff like that. Does this do anything with fixing and modernizing the codes or addressing the code violations? No. They haven't streamlined the code violation issues. They haven't done that. Are they working on rezoning with this bill? No. They're not doing any of the things that are necessary to help encourage not only sustainable development, but also home ownership, or do anything to address the increase in rental prices. Look at it like this. The people that are coming from outside of the city into the city are the ones and the reasons why the prices keep going up. And they're not even the people from around in the surrounding area of Monroe County. What they've been marketing Rochester as is a climate refuge for people that are escaping from California or Washington or these very liberal, far left places where they're very affluent and they spend like $2,500 a month just to rent a garage to live in. That's not a joke. That is a real thing. I actually might be underpricing it in the current market. So they're looking at the stuff here and they're like, wow, it's way more affordable. But affordable to who? Is that affordable to actual Rochesterians? No. And then you look at the people in most of these little groups that are pushing this narrative and stuff like that. The heads of these groups and the people behind the scenes in these groups are people that aren't even from Rochester. Most of the heads of these groups are the gentrifiers, are the transplants that are the problem of why the prices keep going up. And they got the biggest mouth to say stuff. But they don't know what it's like to live in the hood. They say that, the saying, the struggle is real. They don't know what the struggle is. Most of them are affluent, okay? They're upper middle class or better. And most of them come from even better home rearing life. So what's really going on? Who are these people really that are pushing this stuff, which is essentially for being passed by our city council for political expedience and political favorability for a small yet vocal minority group that doesn't give a flip about the city or about these individual city council members, but they're just trying to, grease the wheel with them. This is a problem because the city council voting on this is not actually addressing the core issues, and it's kicking the can down the road, which means that now we're still going to have the same issues, and now we're creating more issues even that are going to at some point have to be addressed. So then we'll have to expand the government more, give the government more power, create more laws, which we didn't need to begin with. And that is a very, very slippery slope, as they say, but it's not a slope, it's a cliff. Straight off the edge we're going. Okay? No parachute, no nothing. And if I can work hard enough to make something different and make something shake loose, I'm going to do my best to try to make sure that we get one of them inflatable things that the fire department be putting underneath the building when they tell you to jump out the window. Okay? Because we're falling, and we're falling fast, and something needs to be done about it. Another thing that's very concerning about this is, as we follow this socialist communist march down this lane, we are going fast towards rent control. But as more institutional investors buy up more properties and stuff like that, which nothing's being done about that, how come that's not being addressed? But as they buy up these properties, they can afford to keep the properties vacant. We see other places where there's rent control in places like San Francisco, New York City, stuff like that. We see them with whole buildings, 10% occupancy, because they're rent controlled and they don't want to put anybody in there, so they'd rather just write it off on paper. This is a serious issue, but people aren't looking at that. People don't care because they're very limited-minded in focus. And that is a very scary thing when these people are running our government. They're just allowing it. It's not okay. But that's what I got for you guys today. Something to think about, something to kick around in your head, that our government doesn't, our local government in the city council and the mayor's office, they do not address our actual issues. They prefer to make a performance piece and make something that sounds nice or looks good and sell it to you like it's going to be the best of everything for you when it doesn't even address the real issues that you have. And that is bad government. That is not what we need. We deserve better. We deserve new leadership. We deserve actual addressing of our issues every day. Real solutions. You understand what I'm saying? Real problems need real solutions. We got real problems. We need real solutions, and this isn't that. I'll catch you guys later. Remember, stand up, speak up, and don't shut up. Take action. Be blessed and be well.